Alright YouTubers, what's going on? Coming back at you with another knife video. We're looking at a new DPX gear knife here. This is the Urban, new for this year. It's their first knife made in the USA. So I've actually, it comes in this pretty generic cardboard box and some tissue paper. So the presentation is pretty, not the greatest. It comes with your little bit here to replace if you don't want to use the glass breaker on it. So I got this in yesterday actually from Blade HQ, and was doing just kind of a not a walkthrough, just an overview of the knife, just checking it out and everything. And you know, from first look, I liked it quite a bit. I liked that Jade G10 stonewash lock side. They did away with the roto block and did a stainless steel lock bar insert that also acts as an over travel stop. So I was liking it, and it has a pretty good action on it. But one thing I noticed when opening and closing it is it has a ton of lock bar pressure, guys. It's like almost like it's got lock stick, but it doesn't because it's got a stainless steel lock bar insert. I don't know if it's at the edge geometry, not the edge geometry, the lock face geometry against the lock bar is not great, or it's just got a ton of pressure, so it's kind of hard to disengage. And then I was looking at the blade and noticed, okay, this side looks pretty decent. They really didn't take the edge all the way down like they could have. That was kind of weird. Then I flipped it over and looked at the other side. It was even worse done on that side. And then look at the edge near the tip. I mean, it's completely uneven from the other side. It's barely. It's almost got like a zero, not quite, but look at the bevel on this side versus this. So it's super thin. The tip's really jacked up. You can actually see it from this angle too. Look at the tip. Look how weird it looks. So I was pretty disappointed, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is DPX Gear's first knife made in the USA. They're working with Florian Knives, I believe, I think they're out of Michigan. I'm not exactly sure on that. But for the knife to leave the factory like that with that crappy of an edge and not even fully extending the edge all the way, yeah, the tip, the lock bar pressure being so stiff, I don't really understand it. DPX used to make the, or not DPX, they used to have them made by Lion Steel in Italy, and I've had a couple of them, and they were always pretty good to go. They never had issues. I mean, they might have had a little lock stick, but they didn't have, you know, edge issues like that out of the box. And how it left the factory like that is beyond me. So kind of the point I want to make here is that it's not always better to be made in the U.S. because here's an example. Here is a Taiwanese-made Spyderco with a perfect edge from the factory. That's a factory edge. I've stropped it, but Taiwanese. Let's go Chinese. The Wii 6 or 703. Perfect edge, symmetrical. I mean, same on both sides. From China. Let's do Italy, where these used to be made. This is a Fox-Notch Karambit. Very uniform edge. So my point is here, and let's go made in the USA. I've got two here. ZT 0900, sub $200 knife, and Southern Grind, Spider Monkey. I mean, guys, it's not, if you're producing knives, it's not difficult to put an uniform, you know, even edge bevel on the knife. It's really not. For this is a $240 knife. You can get the triple black version for $210 if you don't want the fancy Jade G10 and the stonewashing and stuff. But for it to leave the factory like that is kind of beyond me. I'm very disappointed that it came like this. I'm going to return it to Blade HQ. I'm sure they'll take care of me. I know they don't have the ability to inspect every single knife they send out. But you know, it would be nice if they did, but obviously that's kind of an unrealistic goal, or yeah, to have them do that because they ship out so many knives. But this being a Blade HQ exclusive, you know, maybe they could have, I don't know, looked at them and made sure the ones that went out were had a good edge on them, not this garbage. So it's kind of frustrating when you pay that much for a knife and you get that kind of poor craftsmanship. You know, the lock bar pressure is way too strong, I think. And yeah, overall, I'm pretty disappointed in this knife. First impressions are not good at all. You know, I applaud DPX for trying to make these in the U.S., but you know, there's tons of manufacturers that produce knives for companies in the U.S. that aren't major knife players like ZT and Spyderco and Benchmade. Three Rivers Manufacturing is one that comes to mind. They do a lot of knives for different people. They produce their own knives, and they do a really quality job. So it's kind of disappointing. And this could, you know, I could be being, I don't know how many other people have had issues with this knife. I wouldn't be surprised to see more. This could be a lemon. This could be the one that came out of the factory like this. The guy that was running the grinder when he was sharpening just got lazy. You know, just packaged it up. They had to meet a deadline. I get it. Things happen. But for that much money, I mean, it shouldn't really happen. Hopefully no one else has this issues, and this is just a lemon, and it's a one-time thing. Because other than that, I really like the knife. I like the size. Let me give you some size comparisons. It's a smaller knife. It's got a sub 3-inch blade, just barely under 3 inches. There's the ZT-0900, which is almost an identical size knife. The Spider Monkey is going to be a little bigger, a little more handle there. But I felt like the minus the lock bar pressure and uneven bevel, it's a good sized knife. I mean, it's medium. I have medium sized hands. I can get all 4 fingers on there. You know, I like the stone washing. Looks really nice. I like the G10. I like how they went without a liner. I know they did that on the other hex. They just had a thick piece of G10. I wish ZT and Hinder would do that. It'd save weight on their knives because it's plenty strong material. So, you know, you got your typical Hest features with the bottle opener / wave opener. You got your wire stripper there, and your hex wrench, and then your glass breaker, which you said you can replace. So I like everything about it. I like the size. I'm like, man, it fits my hand good. Make a good ADC, but then you try to close it, and you're like, man, I gotta push that lock bar over a lot. You know, and I could even get past the lock bar tension if the edge wasn't so jacked up. So this one's going back to Play HQ. Like I said, just literally opened it out of the box yesterday, and I'm gonna be shipping it back or going down there tomorrow to return it. But hopefully, you know, things get changed. But you know, not very good first impressions here, guys. Hopefully, if you guys get one of these, let me know. This is the DPX Hest Urban. It's their new knife. They funded it on Kickstarter with like a titanium version, have it made in the USA, and then they're doing the G10 version for a little less money. It's, like I said, great to be made in the USA, but you know, make sure hopefully there's no other issues, and they used a quality manufacturer. So let me know if you get one, and if you have any issues with yours. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.